Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today it is Wednesday, my dudes, and we're going to get right after it. And it's kind of a cool segment today. It's a little bit different. This week I have Reo and Beagle kind of come up with something that they want to talk about, a vocal point that they want to talk about, anything over NFL during the season. And so we're going to do that. We're also going to get into records like normal, and then we will talk about we'll do one of my segments as well, so we'll each have a different segment that we talk about, and then we'll get right into the picks because we've got a lot of Saturday night games or Saturday day games in general because it is Christmas Eve and the NBA takes the glory on Christmas and has most of the primetime games and things like that. We still got a few Sunday games, but it's mainly going to be on Saturday, so we're going to get right into it. So Rio, how you doing, my guy?
I'm good. I love coming here every Wednesday. It's good to be back, guys.
Good. We're glad to have you. So I'm looking over because I'm on puppy duty right now, so I got to make sure he doesn't get into anything. But let's get started. Hopefully Beagle hops on and we can talk about his segment as well. I kind of want to do Rio's second, but just because of what he want to talk about. But we'll just go ahead and dive in it first, just because it is a little controversy. And Rio, I just kind of, since it's your segment, tell the viewers, tell the fans, the subscribers, what it is you want to talk about, and then I'll chime in after you're done.
Yeah, so I basically wanted to talk about an issue that's been going on for a little bit, and it's not really necessarily being addressed. It's about slip film, which is a kind of turf that the NFL uses, and there's about 7 teams in the league that use it, and there's players that range from Cooper Kupp to the Kelsey brothers, so Kupp plays wide receiver, Travis Kelsey plays tight end, and I feel so bad, but I forget the other Kelsey brother, but he plays a lineman position. So that's 3 different positions complaining about this special kind of turf, this certain kind of turf. And basically, a lot of these injuries that are happening are also no contact. And so it's football. You're thinking that, they're going to get a concussion because they're going to get hit. Well, these certain injuries are no contact. They're making cuts. They're coming off the line of scrimmage in a fast motion. Some of the times it's just badly placed foot when you're running, and you tear your ACL.
Yes.
And so statistically, man, they are getting hurt more. When the players play on that turf, it's only 7 out of the whole league, so it's not the most accurate data, but there's about 2 to 3 more injuries a year based on those fields when the players are on that field. And the 7 teams that still have it are the Giants, the Jets, so, obviously it's the same stadium, Indiana Colts.
Yep.
Cincinnati Bengals. So that's kind of like an Eastern, start to it. The Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, and then the New Orleans Saints. So, Riley, based on kind of what I was saying, but before I mention the split film, it has a little hole basically under the grass-looking part of it, and so basically the cleat of the athlete's foot is getting caught in that, and then they bring their leg up to run, and that's how they're getting injured.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So, Rio kind of, brought this point up, and I was like, you know what, I think we should definitely talk about this. Let, what's going on in the NFL kind of know that they need to change their turf because, I've played on turf field. I know Rio probably played on turf field before. I know Beagle definitely has played on turf field, and it's 100% different than grass. And the report that I saw, the same video that Rio sent me about this, is the NFL saying that grass is not any more dangerous than what they use now. And that is complete and utter BS because I can definitely tell you that I would rather play on real grass than turf any day of the week. And it just sucks to see that players are getting non-contact injuries. Yes, injuries are part of the game, don't get me wrong, no matter what sport you play. But if we can prevent injuries, that's what we want to do. And you would think that the NFL would be wanting to take protocols to do that. And so, like you said, notable players like Nick Bosa, Cooper Kupp. And actually, it's kind of funny that you brought up these players because there's one player you kind of forgot to bring up, which is a huge player. And I believe that big player is Odell Beckham Jr., who tore his ACL last year during the Super Bowl, who they use that same turf. So think about it. He could be on a team right now. How would the Rams be playing different? Would they have re-signed him if he didn't tear his ACL? Things like that. So, it really does take in consideration of like, okay, they're having two or three times the amount of injuries per year because of this, so they need to get it fixed. And like you said, it's only used in 7 NFL stadiums currently, but let's reduce that number to 0. What do you say?
I agree, man. I agree, and it sounds like that the upper management knows about it, and they're saying that it's a non-issue.
And Reo and I both believe it's an issue. That's why we're talking about here and wanting to let the fans know that, what would you guys do in this position? I believe that personally you should change all of them to real grass, or if you still want to stick with that turf grass, to, just change the type of turf that you're using. What's your solution here, Reo?
Yeah, no, I agree. Change it to all grass, pretty much. I think that slip film is the main enemy, I guess we could say, in this conversation. But it is shown across all of the turfs that there is just higher percentage of injury. So me personally, I would like to see all grass fields. I think that it might be cheaper, but maybe more messy. I just think that I think that's what they should do for the safety of the players.
Absolutely. So Reo and I, we're on the same page, and we hope that you guys are on the same page as us because we're looking out for our player safety. We're not doing this to cut corners. We're not doing this because turf looks cooler or better, but looking out for the player's safety. I wish Beagle was here because we're going to talk about his anyways because it just makes sense, that he brought it up. Justin Fields, quarterback for the Chicago Bears, is 206 yards away from breaking Lamar Jackson's QB rushing record in a single season. Currently, Justin Fields has 1,000 yards rushing on the ground. Will he break the record with 3 games left? Now, Rio, I want to kind of give your opinion on it. I know Beagle would love to give his opinion on it, and I know he'd probably say yes, so we kind of knew what he was already going to say. But Lamar Jackson record dates back to 2019, where he ran for 1,206 yards. Now, with 3 games left in the season, do you think Justin Fields has what it takes to run for 207 yards?
Yeah, man. I think he's got what it takes. It's a matter of they're playing the Bills. It's not going to be the easiest against the Bills.
I know it's going to be snowing, so
okay.
This weekend.
That can either make him more slippery or his feet more slippery. You never know.
And then who do they play after that? Do you know what their last 3 games are? I only know their next game.
They got the Bills, the Lions, and then the Vikings. So the Lions one should give him a big opportunity. He should try to go for at least above 150.
If he at least rushes 100 yards in every game, he's got it.
Right. I agree. I think that Lions game, he could probably try to get 150, so the other 2 games he doesn't have to really stress as much about it. But do you think he's trying to get the record?
At the beginning of the season, I don't really think so. Obviously, I think he's doing what's best for his team, to win for his team. But now that he's kind of close, I feel like, it kind of is in the back of his head. I mean, obviously, he's going to come out and say in the press conference, someone's going to ask him, and he's going to be like, oh, that's a cool record, but I'm here to win games. Giving that typical quarterback answer. But I think he is personally trying to break it, and I think it would be really cool to see it because when Lamar Jackson came out and he ran for this, I mean, he previously broke Michael Vick's record for having the most rushing yards in a single season. So if it can be broken again, this just shows the way of the game that the quarterback play is going. And I would just love to see it, especially for a young man, Justin Fields, and especially for just being on the Bears. Sad story there. But that was a joke shot at Beagle. But, I think it would be really cool. And I think he has what it takes. And if he at least averages, we said 100 yards per game. But I agree with you. That Lions game is going to be huge for him.
Yeah. And, he really loves to run the ball, especially if he gets frustrated. I think a lot more than Lamar Jackson. I feel like Lamar can throw it better than Fields for sure. So Fields definitely relies on it. So, I think it's a possibility.
It is absolutely a possibility. So With that being said, we are going now into our records of last week. Now, this is kind of funny, actually. With being three people, now you kind of have more of like, hey, you two tied, or one of us tied, or something like that, or somebody had the better record, or someone really had the worst record. But Beagle and Reo went 10-6 last week, so they both had 10 wins and 6 losses, not too bad at all. But I came out on top, having 11 wins and 5 losses.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you very much. Rio, you are at 49 wins, 24 losses, and 1 tie. So your challenge this week is to break 50 wins.
What's my losses?
You are at 24 losses.
Okay.
Beagle is at 131 wins, 91 losses, and 2 ties. His challenge is to break 150 before the end of the season. Then I'm at 117 wins, 105 losses, and 2 ties. My challenge is to at least get to 130. That's 15 more wins. I think I can do it. So we've all got a challenge going into the next 3 weeks, and let's see what we can do. Obviously, you're 1 win away, Rio, so there's no way you go for 16. So you'll definitely break that record, and we'll give you a new record next week. But kind of gives us a little challenge, and makes us picking these games mean a little bit more.
All right, I can shoot for 60.
Absolutely, you can. Now we're going to talk about my scenario. Now, mine's kind of funny because it's with the AFC South. And originally I was like, hey, Colts, we're going to the playoffs this year. Had high hopes. Well, that went down the garbage drain real quick. I just don't know what happened. I just thought that we had all our P's and Q's together. I thought Matt Ryan was the answer. And obviously last week, he's a laughingstock of the NFL, going up 33-0 versus the Vikings and then losing 39-36. So I just don't know how you give up the 2 biggest leads ever in the NFL history. Maybe it's just his luck. I don't really know. But with that being said, the Jacksonville Jaguars, not expecting this whatsoever because the AFC South is just not that good this year. Texans obviously aren't going to make the playoffs, but if the Jags can win the rest of their 3 games that they have on their schedule, they will make it into the playoffs. Can you believe that?
That is pretty crazy. No one, I think, expected that this beginning of the season.
Unless you're a Jaguars fan, then you got to have crazy hopes. Their next 3 games are the New York Jets, the Houston Texans, and the Tennessee Titans. Now, Rio, I'm going to let you go first here. Do you think they make it in, or is there a team here in the next 3 games that they lose to that crushes their hopes and dreams?
You know what, dude? The Jets, it's going to be tough, but they have receiver Jones, who's been going off. He's on my fantasy, and he's been on my bench this whole time that he's been going off. And it's going to be a showdown, I think. I think this first game, I think, is going to be one of the most exciting. And then we got a divisional rivalry at their very last game of the season. So I think that the Jets are definitely going to challenge them. It's going to be a good game. The Jets might even pull it off. They're definitely going to sweep the Texans. And then the Titans, man, the Titans are going to be trying to fight as hard as they can. The Jaguars got to pull all their strength together to get that game. So I think the Jets have the best chance of winning. I think the Titans is second best, but I don't think the Texans have a chance at all.
Absolutely. And with you saying that, I kind of am going the same route as you are. I think they sweep the Texans. I don't think it'll be that close. I think they'll be okay there. The Titans is somebody that I'm not worried about just because, I don't know if you heard or saw, but on a report that came out, Ryan Tannehill, their quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, might be out for the rest of the season with a high sprained ankle injury, just like Jonathan Taylor is, who I drafted first overall in fantasy football in one of my leagues. So they weren't that. If I lose in the playoffs, it's because of you. Not really. I have a whole other team. But with that being said, your backup, Malik Willis, I can't remember what college he came from, but he's played a few games this year for Ryan Tannehill, and that's why I think that the Jaguars can beat the Titans. Yes, Derrick Henry's a tank, but I just don't think the Titans are going to have what it takes since you're putting in that rookie quarterback. And then the Jets, like you said, they give them the most struggle, but I think they beat the Jets. I think they can overcome. Trevor Lawrence is playing like a dog. Actually, he's playing like a Jaguar over these past few weeks, and he's playing great. He's playing good, and I think that they'll be able to top the Jets. And I think that it's as crazy as this sounds. The Jaguars are going to make the NFL 2022 playoffs. I think so.
I agree with you, man. I think they'll make it too.
Wonder what Beagle's opinion is. I think he might say they lose to the Jets. I feel like he'd say the same thing. Or maybe the Titans. Maybe he believes in Derrick Henry. So
He's big on Henry, man.
he's very big. But hey, guys, that's it. I'm just kidding. We've got to go into our picks. We'll get Beagle's picks. We'll write them down. Don't worry about it. He'll get them. He'll give them to us. Let me just check real quick to see if he responded to me. He did not. Oh, well. It happens. Rio's here. We're getting at it. Rio, you're going first, man. Thursday Night Football. It's here. Actually, it's tomorrow, but it's here. Jacksonville Jaguars. Kind of funny. We just talked about them. Leads right into the next segment. Playing the New York Jets. The other team that we talked about might give them the most trouble. Are you on with the upset here and taking the Jets? Or are you going to stick with what you just said not even 3 minutes ago and saying that the Jags can make it into the playoffs?
I'll go with the Jags, and because the Jags are going to make the playoffs. So the Jets' defense is going to be hard, but we'll go Jags. What do you think, man?
I'm going Jags as well. Like I said, I'm picking the Jags to go to win their next 3 games as long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't get hurt. Obviously, they've got to keep that quarterback healthy, and they should make it. Then we've got, hold on, let me just tell you how many Saturday games that we have here, Rio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 Saturday games.
It's a treat, man.
So, on Christmas Eve, you guys are set. We are set on Christmas Eve.
We're going to need the box selection on the TV where you can watch them all at once.
Hey, NFL Red Zone, that's what I like to use. And hopefully we'll be able to use that for Saturday. At least I would think they would. Normally it's on Sunday, but just because, there's 11 games on Saturday, maybe they'll help us out there. But our first Saturday game, before I say anything, Saturday, now that we're in the winter time, a lot of games are going to be cold. It's going to be freezing, snowing. I'm not looking for these games to go over in points. And I'm not looking for these teams to pass the ball very much at all. I'm looking at a run game. I'm looking at the running over totals. So just kind of going into a little bit of the betting scenario-wise that if you decide to do that, those are something that I would look into if that's what you're into. Now, you've got the Falcons coming in and playing the Baltimore Ravens. Rio, I'll let you go first here to start Saturday off for us. Do the Ravens get it done even if Lamar Jackson is not back this week?
So, really quick before I answer, you do got to remember the certain teams that do play in the South, and then the certain teams that play inside arenas sometimes have an advantage, like the Vikings. So they don't have to necessarily go through the cold.
Yes, very true.
With that said, I think that regardless, even though they proved me wrong, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I think regardless of if Lamar is healthy or not, they're going to beat the Falcons. I like the Baltimore Ravens defense. I like their whole team that they're trying to put together. I think that Lamar's just struggling with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what to do with running back as well. But he's a good enough running back, right, when he's healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens, man. What are your thoughts on this?
So I'm actually going to pick the Baltimore Ravens as well. And the reason I'm going to pick the Baltimore Ravens is because the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, are starting their rookie quarterback as well. I can't think of his first name, but I know his last name is Ritter. He came from Cincinnati. He was on the team that went undefeated, made the college football playoffs at number 4. I believe they got beat in the first round 2 years ago. But they're starting him over Marcus Mariota, I believe. And, this just kind of gives him, the young rookie QB a shot, to see what he can do, with a few games left to go in the season. Just kind of get him that experience, especially if that's going to be your future quarterback. And, yes, the Ravens are struggling a little bit. Lamar potentially isn't coming back this week, but it's at home. They're used to the cold weather. And I think that the Battle of the Birds, the Ravens come out on top. Our next Saturday game is the Detroit Lions coming in and playing the Carolina Panthers. Now, for me here, this game could be a toss-up because the Panthers just, I don't know what they do, but they just do the unexpected. Sometimes they come out on top, sometimes they don't. But I think the Lions make the playoffs, like I said last week, and so they need to win all their games as well. So I'm going the Detroit Lions here. Jared Goff is actually playing pretty good, and their running backs, are pretty decent. And I just believe that the Lions just are a better team than the Panthers, and I'm going Lions.
I'm going to have to agree with you, man. We're going all three the first-round picks. Panthers just give me no hope to pick otherwise.
Very true.
Trading away McCaffrey, I think they kind of decided to go into losing mentality anyway. The receivers can't get it right. Morris had a struggle all year. He's had a few games where he bounced back, but they just have done nothing to prove me right. So I'm going to go with Lions with you.
All right, so we're 3 for 3 so far. Do we disagree on this next pick? Saturday football. Seattle Seahawks are coming in and playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Rio, go ahead, give me your pick here, and then I'll go first on the next game.
Alrighty. I feel like you want me to go first because you might upset me here. You might take the underdog. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man. I love the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs this year. They're playing awesome football. I think they're one of the best teams in the league. I think that the Seahawks are having a great season. Geno Smith is putting together an awesome season. But I think that Kelsey and Mahomes, they're just going to get it done. The Chiefs running backs, whoever they put in, dude, they just have a solid team all around. So what do you think, man? You going Seahawks?
I normally would pick the upside here, but we're not in Seattle. We don't have the crowd and the home field advantage here. We're at Arrowhead Stadium with the Chiefs, and so I'm going Chiefs as well with you here. And like you said, doesn't matter who they put at running back. Patrick Mahomes is going to get it done, and that's why I'm going easy pick here at the Chiefs. Now,
this might be a cold game.
Very true, very true. And I think this will be a fun game. This should be a good game. Then you've got the New Orleans Saints playing the Cleveland Browns. Two teams that are not going to make the playoffs. Well, Saints kind of still have a playoff hope a little bit. But the Saints just kind of really upset me this year. At the beginning of the year, I remember sitting in Beagle's house before he went off to Philadelphia. And I was just like, hey, got a sleeper team. I think I know who's going to make the playoffs as a wild card. It's going to be the New Orleans Saints. And they proved me wrong. They just did not go my way. They just didn't do the things that I thought that they would do. And we are in Cleveland. Like I said, it's supposed to be cold. Yes, they do have Andy Dalton. Used to playing on the Cincinnati Bengals. Used to the cold. They play a good two-quarterback system, but it's going to be a running game. I know I've got Alvin Kamara versus Nick Chubb, and I think Chubb's just going to get it done. So I'm going Cleveland Browns here.
Right on, man. Right on. So the Browns upset my pick. I picked the Ravens last week without Lamar. And the Browns got it done. So it really makes me want to lean toward the Browns. Saints also got a quality win, though. I know it was against the Falcons, but so I think this is going to be a good game, man. It's going to be a close game, even though it's not like the best of best teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at Browns. That's going to be a really cold game. I'm going to side with you this time, man. I'm going to go with Browns with you.
Okay, he's going Browns with me. We're going to the Super Bowl. Jokes. Next, you've got an AFC South showdown. You've got the Houston Texans playing the Tennessee Titans. Now, I think it's going to be a lot closer. Obviously, division games are normally usually closer anyways, but I think Derrick Henry has a game, and I think that, yes, this game will be close, but Derrick Henry is going to play well. Malik Willis is going to play decent. It's going to be cold as well. So, like I said, look at the running backs and who they have. It's going to be huge going into this weekend, and I'm going the king himself, the Tennessee Titans.
I agree with you, man. Not much to say here. I feel like anytime the Texans are on board ever since week, 6, it's just hard to pick them, dude. So I'm going to go with Titans. They're trying to keep a playoff spot alive. Henry's been, having an amazing season. I just hope that they can eventually get a team around him because that would be really cool.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go with Titans with you.
Yep, absolutely. So far, we have picked every game the same. So either we're winning or we're losing together. But then you've got I'll let you go first on this one, Rio. You've got the Cincinnati Bengals coming in and playing the New England Patriots. Like I said, it's going to be cold. It's going to be so cold for games this weekend. Who do you got here?
Man, it's going to be cold. The Patriots had a blunder last week, upset my pick. I am not picking them. I'm going to go Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Yeah, there's just way too much that happened at the end of that game. They did not know how to close out.
Absolutely, they did not. Now, this is kind of funny because initially I want to go Cincinnati Bengals. And I just don't know because it reminds me of last season when the Patriots played the Bills, and combined in that game there was only one, I think, two total passes, maybe three, and I believe the Patriots were able to sneak out that win. It was a cold game like this in December, and I just, Bill Belichick and what he was able to do, it was just like funny to think the old head, the experience really got the win. But Joe Burrow and those white uniforms are too icy and too cold, and so I got to go Bengals as well. But I just kind of wanted to, to let you know that I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think.
Gotcha. Because, I was feeling like it might have been a little more separate than the Raiders game. But you're saying that Patriots are going to give a fight?
Oh, for sure. I think this is like the Bengals don't run away with it like they should. I think it'll be a 3-point game. Next, you've got the New York Giants coming and playing the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Rio, you talked about it, the Minnesota Vikings. They've got that horrible turf, but they have a dome stadium. So do you think that plays advantage to the Vikings and they win? Who do you got?
Well, hey, man, no matter who would have been home, we would have gotten turf. Because the Giants also got turf.
True.
So, I think that this would be a crazy win for the Giants.
It would be.
I think that the Vikings, this is a surprise, a little bit of a surprise year for them. I think that they definitely overachieved this year. However, I think that they are one of the best teams that have gotten a few losses under their belt. So, I feel like a few teams have gotten sneak wins, and this could definitely happen here.
So what we got?
Last week, the Giants beat the Commanders.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the Giants this week, man.
Vikings won last week as well.
Yep.
But they shouldn't have. But they shouldn't have.
I'm going to stick with the Giants.
See, it's just hard to disagree this week because we're getting down to the nitty gritty of teams really needing to win to make that playoff spot. I wanted to disagree here and go the Vikings, but what they showed me last week, oh my gosh, get out of here, get out of my ballpark. I don't want to see the Vikings again. Horrible. There's no way you should have came back and win, but the Colts suck so bad that you did. But I don't think that you'll be able to do that to the Giants. And I think Giants are going to play a lot better than the Colts did. And I'm going Giants here as well.
Dang, dude, I thought that was going to be our first disagreement.
I can't. The Vikings, they're kind of starting to become the Raiders to me.
Yeah, feel that.
The next, you got the Buffalo Bills coming in and playing the Chicago Bears. Now, I know Beagle will be torn over this. He's always going to normally go Bears. Normally, he never not picks them. But this is going to be a cold game as well. Like I said, we've got this snow front coming into Indiana, just really all over the northern states as well. And not only snow, but rain and ice and things like that. So it's going to make, a lot of games harder this week. Bills have a great defense. If Justin Fields can get 75 rushing yards, that's an A+. That is excellent. But I think he's going to go for 50. I think it's going to be really hard for him to get a lot just because the Bills have such a great defense. both these teams know how to play in the snow in the wintertime, because they Soldier Field for the Bears and where the Buffalo Bills play. So this should be a good game. Like I said, I think the Bills definitely come out on top, and um, Bears are gonna give them a fight though.
So you think you got Bills?
I got Bills.
I agree with you. I'm gonna go with Bills. I think that the Bears. I agree with you, man. A+ if he gets. I think he should go for this title. Their record is nothing to boast about. They're not going to do anything even close to the Super Bowl. So, and they're in the Windy City, man. So I think that I say he goes over 50.
Okay, for the
And I
hometown
say
crowd.
his right hometown man. And then I say that his attempts are crazy, but they eventually catch on and stop him.
Mm-hmm.
So give me the Bills here. I'll agree with you, man.
All right. Then our next Saturday game, you've got the Commanders versus the 49ers. Now, the 49ers have been playing pretty well with their third-string quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft, Mr. Brock Purdy, I believe his last name is, if I'm saying that right. The Commanders did lose last week. It was a close game. I didn't get to watch the game, but I saw that there should have been a pass interference call, I think it was 4th and goal or something in the end zone. Kind of a BS call. They probably should have got it. But the 49ers are just too good. Even if they have their third-string quarterback, they're just too good. And they might be my favorite to win the NFC, I'm not going to lie. So, again, here, I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. The 49ers are a great team. I think one of the best teams. I think they're a really complete team. They remind me a lot of the Chiefs in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Commanders, they got some good, convincing wins. They're trying their hardest to do that playoff spot, but, I think the 49ers are too hard to overcome. So we're going to agree again, and I'll go 49ers.
We have not disagreed yet.
I know. I'm looking up at the upcoming ones thinking which ones we're going to.
Now, Saturday night, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles coming and playing the Dallas Cowboys. You're in AT&T Stadium. Reo, I'm going to let you go first on here, and then I will let you know who I'm going to pick. Whew. We might disagree on this one. We might.
We might. However, after my argument, you might change your mind. So, I feel like that the Cowboys originally would have got this win. They're one of the better teams. I feel like they're trying to do a deep playoff push.
Oh,
However,
for sure.
their last two games have been a little shaky. And they lost to the Jaguars. No shade on the Jaguars.
They did.
But I feel like the Cowboys have been held to a higher regard.
Oh, for sure.
So with that being said, I'm going to side with the Eagles. But if the Cowboys had been playing better this last 2 weeks, I would have been siding with the Cowboys.
Okay. I definitely see what you're saying there. Now, let me give my little spiel here. Jalen Hurts is not playing this Saturday. He's hurt.
I didn't know that.
So I got to do your research. He's on my he's my fantasy QB, so that's how I know that. Gardner Minshew, who used to play for the Jaguars, is starting for the Philadelphia Eagles. Last time he played, he got the dub for him. So not necessarily, wrong with you going with the Eagles because he could get another dub. He's starting again. But he's really got to play well. Cowboys have an excellent defense. Now, my initial reaction, I want to pick the Eagles, but if Jalen Hurts isn't playing, I just can't. I've got to go with the Cowboys. America's Team of the Week. This is the game of the week, to be honest with you here, because the NFC East division is actually one of the better divisions and basically kind of the best division this year. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott will get it done. CeeDee Lamb will step up, and that Cowboys defense is one tough Cowboy to get through. So I got to go Cowboys here.
All right, man, our first disagreement.
We could have all wins, and that could be our only loss for one of us. So it's going to be kind of funny. Our last Saturday our last Saturday game, which should not be the night game whatsoever. I'm kind of pissed off, to be honest. It's the Raiders versus Steelers. You already know who I'm going to pick. I don't even want to go into it. I'm just picking the Steelers.
You know what's funny here, man?
What's so funny?
This is your team that absolutely destroys your record versus my team that absolutely destroys my record.
Mm-hmm.
I pick the Steelers a lot, man, and they lose me a lot of games. And that goes for you with the Raiders.
100%.
That being said, I'm going to go with the Raiders, man. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. So we're going to have our second disagreement.
Back to back.
Back to back.
Okay. I mean, that's totally fine, like I said, because I hate the fucking Raiders. Excuse my language, but I do. I'm not doing it. Then on Sunday, NBA games will be on, so I'll be watching that instead than the NFL, sorry, but it just will be. You've got the Green Bay Packers playing the Miami Dolphins. Now, Green Bay was able to get a win versus the LA Rams. Not something I was expecting, but the Packers, played better, played decent. Their playoffs hopes are still alive a little bit. But I think Miami and the Miami Dolphins and Tua, Jalen Waddle, he's acting like a penguin out here. And Tyreek Hill is going to get it done versus the Packers. It's not Lambeau. It's not cold. It's in Miami. Yes, it's December. It's a little colder, but I'm pretty sure that the Dolphins are going to swim through, jump through the water, and they're just going to run over the Cheeseheads.
I'm agreeing with you, man. I think that I kind of wish the Packers were playing anybody else just to kind of keep their playoff hopes alive. Not that I'm the biggest Packers fan. I just kind of wish that, A-Rod's last few seasons go well. So,
Big Ol' would 100% disagree with you on that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins with you, man. Too good of a team. They're also just fighting for as top of the seed as they can get.
Very true. With them, definitely making the wild card as well in the AFC. Then Sunday, you've got the Let's Ride Broncos. Oh, hold on. Got to get a new meeting out here. But it's the Denver Broncos playing the Rams. Now, I want to go Rams here just because I like Baker Mayfield. And I just think that Baker Mayfield will be able to get it. Yes, they didn't get it done versus Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. He's just got a lot of experience. So I'm not too mad and whatnot. So, I mean, the Broncos might show up. I don't really know what's going to happen with Russell Wilson. But I'm going Rams here. And I think the Rams are going to beat the Broncos because Baker Mayfield is going to bounce back from that loss and, really get the Rams back on track, even if they're not going to make the playoffs. All right, Rio.
All right.
You got the Broncos, you got the Rams.
Yeah, I came in at the end and I kind of heard what you were saying. I agree, man, that Baker Mayfield, he's given him hope for the future. I think they're trying to make him maybe not the franchise guy, but just a centerpiece that they're going to go with going forward. And then you got Broncos, which tried to make Russell Wilson a centerpiece going forward. Bottom of the barrel teams. The Broncos disappointed. I mean, the Rams did too, man. They're both disappointed. You're going with the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams too, man. Their defense is probably just too good, I think, for the Broncos to get going.
I wondered if we were going to disagree or what you were going to go there. I was like, am I writing B? Am I writing an R? Then your Sunday night game, which I think this could be a better Sunday night game, but it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's Tom Brady. Maybe that's why he's on Sunday Night Football, playing the Arizona Cardinals with, Kyle Murray. Not sure if he's coming back or not. Colt McCoy might be starting. I think the Bucs should get this win pretty easy. I'm not, too worried about the Cardinals even really putting anything together. So personally, I'm going Bucs here. Rio, what are you doing here?
Yeah, man, I agree. So last week, all of the Bucs receivers and Brady was on fire. Evans was on fire. Jones was on fire. And the Cardinals, they're not fighting for a playoff spot. The Bucks really are. Brady's trying to, do a good last ride. So give me Bucks. I'll agree with you there, man.
I will give you the Bucks. Go on the Bucks as well.
Last game.
The last game is going to be on Monday night. So we do still get a Monday night game, and that's going to be between the Chargers and the Colts. Don't ask me why the Colts have a Monday night game. And the only reason why I say this is because of the schedule and what's been happening. But this game was already scheduled out. Yes, I probably could have changed it, but the Colts just blew a 33-0 lead. I was watching that game. I was sitting there, and I'm just like, this is the most pitiful thing I've ever seen in my life. You're up 33-0. You don't know how to manage clock. Like, what are you doing? It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So I just want the Colts season to be over with so I can just move on. Like, that's where I'm at with the Colts. The Chargers are still trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, with Justin Herbert and everything. So I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers are going to get it done.
Yep. So we agree on the last pick too, man. We agree. Man, I kind of wish they would have switched the Colts for the Jaguars and have the Jaguars face off for the Chargers on this Monday night spot.
Oh, that would be nice. That would, I like that.
Yep.
That'd be a good one.
But yeah, man, Colts are nothing to boast about, so the Chargers are fighting for that playoff spot. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
All right. Let me just add this up real quick before we get off here, because the only games we disagree on is the Cowboys, Eagles, Raiders, Steelers. That's it. 2 games. So I hope we have the best week. I hope we both have the best weeks, because either we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're either going 14-2, or someone's going 15-1, or potentially someone could go 16-0. We'll just find out and see, because it's play of football's right around the corner. So teams are pulling things out of their bag that they haven't done all season long, and they're just going to do the best that they possibly can. With that being said, Rio, do you see your team going 16-0? Like, do you feel confident about your picks? Because it hasn't happened yet. No one's won 16-0.
It hasn't happened, man. I feel like I've had some good above 500 weeks for my picks so far.
Yeah.
Later the season gets, I feel like we kind of know who's playing for a playoff spot and who's not. So yeah, man, I feel the most confident out of all my picks about this week.
All right. I mean, so do I. I mean, you got to go and you got to do that every single week. Like, you got to feel confident. We're not just picking these. We're not being some person who doesn't know anything about the sport, and we're just like, oh, that mascot looks cool, or the Cowboys, they have a star, cool, or their quarterback is attractive or something. That's just things I hear and things like that of why people pick the things that they do. But we do our research. We really dive in and go in, and we really want to pick and give our best quality picks so that you guys can base your picks maybe off that or what we have to say and things like that. So once again, I want to say thank you very much for watching and tuning into this episode. I know I appreciate it. I know Rio appreciates it as well. Share it on social media, like it, let us know what we're all about. If you have any disagreements or anything, please comment, let us know. But that is week 16. It's in the books. We've got Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night games. Once again, games on Saturday, all on Christmas Eve. So I know what I'll be doing Saturday, and I know what most of you will be doing Saturday. With that being said, I'm out of here. Rio's out. This episode's over. Till next week, week 17.